There is now a large body of research on what is sometimes called collaborative, sometimes called cooperative learning. And what that research shows is that cooperative learning is effective when two conditions are met. The first is that there are group goals. Students are working as a group, not just in a group. And there's individual accountability. The idea is that each individual member of the group is responsible for putting forward their best learning efforts, and the other members of the group can see that they're trying their best. We get that in the orchestra. One person playing a wrong note because they didn't practice harms the whole orchestra's performance. It's a group goal. And everybody knows who played the wrong note. Individual accountability. We get that in team sport. One person missing a tackle harms the whole team's chances of winning, and everybody knows who missed the tackle. Unfortunately, often when teachers set up cooperative situations in classrooms, they frame it in such a way that allows one or two, maybe three students to do the work for the whole group, in which case you do not get the benefits of cooperative learning. One good example would be with team roles. The teacher assigns the students different kinds of roles in a group. You'll be the scribe, you'll be the timekeeper, you'll be the resource investigator, you'll be the reporter. Now, what the teacher's just done is given every student who's not the reporter an excuse not to pay attention because they know they're not going to be the reporter. And so one technique that we think is very valuable is reporter at random. Don't tell the students who the reporter is going to be until the end of the group work, because then if somebody isn't paying attention, then the other students will be on their case saying, look, we're all going to look bad if you end up getting picked as the reporter and you haven't been paying attention. So I think this idea of making students accountable for the quality of the work quality of the help that they give to their peers is really important. And so, for example, if you use post-it notes, for example, to do 2 stars and a wish, students write comments on each other's work. I like that, I wish you had done that. How do you build in the accountability? Well, when the students have had a chance to read the comments their peers have written, you collect them all in, and then you display them to the whole class on a document camera, anonymously. But students have told us the fact that they knew that the whole class was going to be discussing the comments that they'd made on somebody else's work made them take it seriously, because even though these comments were anonymous, nobody wanted a comment that they had written on somebody else's work described as unhelpful. So the big idea here is to maximize the power of peer tutoring. We have to make students accountable. There's one other thing that I think really bears stressing. The work of Graham Nuttall in New Zealand showed that a lot of what students tell each other in classrooms is incorrect. And so if you do decide to use peer tutoring of any kind, I think it's really important that you as the teacher are still responsible for the quality of the learning that takes place in that classroom. You need to be paying attention to those conversations, because very often students give each other confident but incorrect advice about the work that they're doing. And so you need to be aware of that and be monitoring that so that you can be sure that students aren't actually misleading each other. One example of this is a technique I call the best composite response. So when students are preparing for a high-stakes test, it's really good to do practice papers. There's nothing wrong in doing practice tests, under test conditions, working on your own. But when the students have finished the test, don't score the test. Instead, take the test papers in. Next day, each group of 4 students gets back their 4 test papers and a blank test sheet, and their task as a group is to construct the best composite response they can. Now, because students may have misled each other, it's really important the teacher then has a plenary session where they go, well, what's this table's answer to question 1? What's this table's answer to question 1? Making sure that all the students are on the right track. So I think combining this idea of students as resources for another with teachers checking that the advice they're giving is correct is a very powerful way of harnessing the power of peer learning.